my name is Morgan Sutanto. I am with the Interior Design Program at SFA, and I want to give you a quick summary of my Make an Impact paper. I chose to talk about processed foods and how they affect our bodies and the fact that we shouldn't eat so much of it. Processed foods have a lot of preservatives in them. I'm sure a lot of people know that. Don't know if you do or not. If you do not know that, then I think you should research a little bit about it. They have a lot of preservatives, which include added sugars, salts, sometimes chemicals that extend the shelf life of a product. Sometimes when these things are added to food, it can be hard for our bodies to digest them properly. Not saying that we haven't been processing them for years, but it makes our bodies store different parts of the food, if that makes sense. Our bodies, when they digest, we break down food that we consume and we directly take out the nutrients from whatever food we've consumed. In processed foods, there's not always a lot of nutrients behind that, and there's a lot of sugars and salts, like I said. And so our bodies are taking those extra sugars and salts. It goes into our bodies and it directly hinders our health and weight and many other details. For me personally, it was my skin. Also, it is the cause of a lot of illnesses. I don't want to say it's the cause, but it directly correlates with many illnesses, high percentages of the illnesses in America. You talk about heart disease, some cancers, and diabetes. A lot of this is because of the food we consume, and a lot of the food Americans consume nowadays is processed. Not saying all of that, but a lot of it is, a high percentage. And another thing that processed foods have in them is dyes, and that's also not good for our bodies. On a personal note, I have just a personal testimony about how processed foods affected my life, and once I got them out, my life changed, my health changed. And basically when I was a child, I ate a lot of processed foods. We kept those things in our pantry, and I'm not saying it's my parents' fault, but it is something that a lot of people weren't educated about in the past. And now that it's become so prevalent in our culture today, a lot of people know more about it and are making an active effort to either grow their own vegetables or making sure that they're making home-cooked meals that are just good for us. It's so simple, but it's something we don't think about because you think we walk into a store and you buy these foods and you're safe buying these foods. Even when they're advertised for a diet, example, Special K bar, some of those cereals and a lot of these packaged foods don't give us the nutrients that we need, even though they have a low calorie intake. It's not nutritional, and nutrition is the key to a healthy body. And that's what I'm totally advocating for, is for people to have healthy bodies in the American society. I think that once you dig into the research behind processed foods and how they affect us and the benefit behind taking a high percentage of that out of your diet, I think that you'll truly see the benefit behind that. For me, my skin, my gut health, and even my personal health, I was borderline high cholesterol as a child, and I was a very active person. I played basketball, did gymnastics, and ran cross country, and I still had bad blood work when it came to, at the end of the day. So I never knew how, and now that I'm older and I'm researching and doing some of this stuff on my own, my husband and I both have directly benefited from taking a high percentage of processed foods out of our diet, because I know that it's not always possible for people in everyday life to take out 100% of this just because it's convenient. And it directly correlates with some of the convenience behind people in low income areas buying a lot of this processed food because it is convenient. It lasts a long time. And it's just easy. It's easy for kids to make it on their own when mom's at work. And so there's a lot of background behind all this. And so I want to encourage you to just absorb that and educate yourself about that if you didn't know. And if you did, great. I encourage you to make the change in your life because I think it will directly affect your health for the benefit.